Hello, I'm Czardus, and let's play Cities Skylines 2. I'm so excited for this. This is a big moment, my first official Cities Skylines 2 video, and we are going to be working on a city. Now, I have some limitations on what I can do today. We have to do this in under 30 minutes of a video, and I can play more than that, but the video itself has to be less than 30 minutes, and we can only get to the Grand Village milestone. So that is the limitation. But what we're doing is we're using the Great Barrier Island, or maybe just the Barrier Island map. That is the plan. And what I have envisioned is that initially, European settlers came in, and they came and discovered a natural harbor here, and they founded a little town here. So we're going to have a historic area here, and then we're going to build out from there. So that is the plan. Now, what we want to do first of all is get some roads built in here. So this will be the early road. And then they would have built a grid off of that because that is the simple way of doing things. And we're going to do that right now. Actually, what we'll do is we'll bring, maybe right here, and we're going to bring that out and then just go from there. I think this older part of town, I'm going to have the grid be, how many is that? That is not 8. I want 8 by 8 probably in here. So I'm going to build that out a bit, and then we're going to take a look, okay? All right, so we've got our initial grid from the oldest part of the town, and that I think is going to mostly be commercial. I'm going to build a road now along the shore, and that's going to curve around a bit. Okay, now that I've got that, I'm going to build a similar grid coming off of it. It's going to be the same size as that, but these have been more like industrial buildings and stuff like that. It's going to be 87 yards by 87 yards approximately. We're going to have this be our base of the 87, and then we'll go from there. And I know there is a grid mode, of course, but sometimes I have found so far that I prefer to do it the old style instead of doing the grid mode, because you get more control over the precise thing. The grid mode tends to be more of the like you don't quite have as much control. I'll leave it at that. Okay, so now we've got our initial grid for the industrial part of town. And what I want to do is I want to try and join these a little bit. So we're going to come down this way, keep that 90 degrees at the one end, and we'll go ahead and go like that, and then we'll join this one over like that and take this out. And then the same thing, this one is going to come over here and then go in like that. So that gets the basic part of our initial city. Then, as they were expanding out, they decided to expand the grid further. Like, I think we'll keep this 87-yard square for a little bit, and then eventually we'll get to bigger, but for now that's a pretty good one. So I'm just going to take a few minutes and expand that out this way a bit so we have space for our residential zoning. All right, so now we've got a bigger grid, and the last thing I want to do before we start adding more infrastructure and getting closer to actually zoning is I want to bring this road in like this, because that would have been added later. And so the thought is that that becomes a major thoroughfare. And maybe actually what we'll do, what we're going to do is this is going to be like a road that comes into the island. So I'm actually going to bring it like that. And then we'll curve it nice here. So then we can come in and we can just bring these roads in like that. So it's as if when they built this highway bridge, they had a road that came out this way, and maybe it comes down and becomes more of an arterial that feeds a lot of it, but that will work for now. So now that we have the initial grid layout in place, we're going to get some other stuff. So we need electricity, of course. And one important thing to pay attention to is air pollution. So we can see which way the air is blowing, and we don't want our air pollution to blow towards the residential. So we want to locate our power plant and industry over on this side, which is part of why we have laid things out the way that we have. So we're going to come in here, and I think we'll go ahead and put the power plant right here. Give it a nice amount of space there, and then we're going to get a transformer over here. Actually, I also want to bring the power over to here so that we can sell our power to out of the city. So what we'll do is we'll bring the power this way, and then down here like that. And maybe what we'll do is we'll bring another road off this way. So actually bring this road in this direction. Take that out for a second. And all of this land is going to be the power plant. This will come in like that. That should be good. Okay, and then we can come back and we can add our transformer in here. And hopefully we can fit this in here like that. And onwards. Okay, so we've got our power now. Now we want to get water. All of our roads automatically have pipes. They have water and a sewage pipe in there. So we need to get water pumping. And water pumping, it's a water pumping station that takes it from there. Water tower can go anywhere, or a groundwater pumping station can go on where you have groundwater reservoirs. That will be cheaper. So let's go ahead and put that over in here. What I want to do then is bring this road further out this way. How far is this? That's actually perfectly 87. So we could continue the grid if we want. We'll go ahead and kind of keep that in mind there. And we can put our groundwater pump there. So now all of this has groundwater, or has water. And we can go ahead and we'll put our sewage outflow over here. And look at that, we have unlocked the first milestone. I really like that you get experience points so that you can then reach milestones in different ways. Okay, so now we have all of our basic infrastructure set up. Let's go ahead and hit play for a minute. We're going to generate some demand. Let's go ahead and get some residential in here. I'm going to go ahead and zone this residential. We'll get a little bit of commercial down here in the old part of town. And then we'll get industry over here. So I'm going to let that grow for a bit, and I will see you on the other side. Okay, so we have had a whopping 91 people move in and fill in that space. What I want to do now is I want to expand further out so that we have more space. We have rising low density residential demand, and we have medium density residential demand. So I want to start converting some of this into townhouses, which will fulfill that medium density demand. But first we want to bring this arterial a bit further inland. And I think what I want to do is eventually the newer grid is going to be along that shoreline. So I want to have like an interior island arterial that goes approximately like that. That's kind of like what I want. And then we're going to have a grid coming off of that. So this road is going to come and meet that. Have it be at 90 degrees. And then this can come down like this and curve in right there. Now we've got power line in the way, so we're going to pause and take that out for a moment and get this placed. And then go back and put the power line back in before we forget. And what we'll do now is this will be the end of the original town. And maybe we'll extend this part of the grid out a little bit more that way. And along here as well, we can go that way. Although that road came in and probably was the... Maybe they cut through the grid. Yeah, they could have cut through a little bit. But this is going to be the new grid. And I'll show you what I plan with this. We're going to come off, let's say, here. And we're going to have a bigger grid here. The full size that we can do. Because now you can see zoning can go 6 squares deep. So that will get us there. And then that is the size that we're going to have all through here. And over on this side as well. And I know I'm doing a lot of grid, but that is kind of what we would see in a North American style build, especially on flat land like this. Be really easy to do a lot of grid. So I'm going to fill that out. I will see you in a minute. Okay, so now I've got the newer grid out, and I'm going to go ahead and zone a lot of this. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to only do half of this side as residential, because I want commercial to be on these arterial roads. So I'm going to come up here too and get just that much as residential. And all the way down here, actually about there, it starts to be the wrong amount. Maybe I've got the wrong amount already. Yeah, you know what? I think I do. Let's redo this. Okay, so I've gone in and I've zoned all of that with low density residential, and we're going to come over here now and we're going to upgrade some of these with townhouses. Look at that, we've got a new signature building. It's great. We might add that at some point, but for now we'll go ahead and get all of that building. And now I want to start paying attention to our unemployment rate. Unemployment right now is 0%. I'm not going to really add more jobs until that starts to be positive, because then I know that we're getting a good balance in the economy itself. So we're going to let this fill in, and then we'll take a look again. And we do have one icon here, which is waiting for a hearse. And so we're going to put our oldest town cemetery in over here. Now, what I think we'll do is we'll extend this out. Actually, we'll take that back out. I want to make sure we're on this one because this is part of the grid that we've been building. And get this in the right spot. There we go. And then here, we are going to put our first cemetery. So that was the initial town cemetery, and now we'll let this fill in the rest of the way. Okay, so now we are at 14% unemployment. I'm going to slow us down our time speed. 15% unemployment. So we are in a good spot to start adding businesses. And commercial profit is really good. Industrial profit is not great. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add more commercial before we add more industry competition in there. And we'll let that hopefully satisfy some of that unemployment. In fact, we might fill out the rest of this commercial in here. Pretty soon we're going to get to the next milestone. And then we'll have a little bit more control over a couple other things as well. So we're still making progress on that. And now that we've filled out the rest of that area, we're going to come in and get some more commercial zoned along here. I'm just going to go ahead and zone all of it.
Sorry about that.
And so then we'll let the game decide where to put the commercial stuff. And you can see industrial profit has been going up a little bit as they have more commercial buildings to buy from their stuff, so they don't have to ship it as far. And then commercial profit has been going down as we've had more competition. Unemployment is way back down to 1.1%, so that worked, and now we are at milestone number 2. So now, as a small village, the big thing that we get is now taxation, and we can do a different style of medium density housing, and we get some schools available as well. But I'm going to go ahead into taxation, and I'm going to move all taxation up to 13%. That'll help our budget. You can see our budget is in a negative spot, but that might be a little bit better balanced than a little bit. And of course, we get a major chunk of government subsidies and selling our surplus power. And those things are helping us a lot. Now, the next thing we want to do is start to figure out where else we can grow. Of course, we want to double check unemployment is only 1%, so we want to get more people. And we have that medium density demand. So what we're going to do is come in here, and I'm going to switch to townhouses out here, and we're going to make these blocks into even more dense residential. So we've got townhouses here, and then bigger apartment buildings there, and probably do one or the other there. We'll see in a little bit. Okay, so now we have reached milestone 3, large village, and this is really good because we unlock a little bit of raw resource industry, which is what we need next. And we also get fire and police, which don't matter too much just yet. But what I want to see is that raw resources. So we're going to come here to natural resource. We can get some farms out here. We can get some trees. And I don't think we have any ore in here. Those are the ones that we have available. We have stone mining and livestock farming, which livestock can actually go anywhere. And so I think what we'll do, yeah, we don't have any ore on our initial area, so we're not going to be able to get ore for a while, but we can get livestock farming, and I'm going to put that over here. So I think what we'll do at this point, we're going to start bringing in a road. I want to build this road, so this is kind of like our ring road. I'm going to build that out a little bit more, hopefully get it under the bridge there and along the water there. Okay, so that worked out the way I wanted it to. Now I want to double check. Yeah, we've got some farming over there. So what I want to do is I'm actually going to come in here and unlock these 2 tiles here, because eventually we're going to want to go a little bit further there to get that raw farming. But for now, we're going to come in here and we're going to get some livestock farming here. And I'm going to go ahead and put that right off of this ring road. And I'm going to build the field for that, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So there we've got a livestock farm that has come out here. They have only 1 employee though, so at some point hopefully they will get more. They have quite a lot going on. What they're going to do is they are going to import grain probably and produce livestock. So that will be our livestock farm. And again, we can't do ore, but we need to figure out what to do here. So we've got high unemployment, 7%. Actually, that's not too bad. Industry profit still isn't great. It's costing money to import the stuff, which is why I really wanted to get some raw resource production. But we don't get any of these things yet. We need to get to Grand Village before we can get forestry, and forestry is going to be a really big one for us. But I'm going to come in here and we're going to increase the density on these blocks, and we'll get more people coming in. And I think we'll go ahead and get a little bit more industry over here as well. We'll like double what we have available. And that should get us a bit more jobs. These are all complaining about high rent. And part of that is just that, I mean, they have high rent because we have a housing shortage right now, which is why we probably should just expand that low density residential. Yeah, unemployment is low enough now that we can go ahead and do that. So what I want to do is, let's see, the ring road comes around that way. And I think we'll go ahead and expand this grid out this way a little bit. We'll see how it turns out. All right, we've got some space to continue adding low density. So I will go ahead and do that. Actually, I'm going to double check unemployment again, 1.7. Okay, we can go ahead and do this. We're going to keep residential or commercial along there. So I'm just going to do the fill here like that. And actually, we'll keep that out because we want to make sure to get that road in there. That'll add a little bit more and get our unemployment rate up again, which will be good. We want to double check that profitability as well. Keep an eye on that. I want to get more commercial in, which we do have the demand for now, so we can go ahead and zone these spots as well. Very good. So right now our city is rolling in the dough, and our happiness is only average. And the big thing that is causing the low happiness is high crime. So I think we'll go ahead and we'll get a police station. We'll put that right over here. Doesn't quite fit where I wanted it, so we'll put it here instead. And that will be our first police station. Then we'll start providing police coverage to the whole area. At some point, we could restrict that to just a district. You can do that once you have a district, I think. But yeah, we can at some point look into doing that. But for now, we don't need to. Yeah, we can't create districts yet. But we will soon. We're almost at Grand Village. Okay, so most of this is filled in, and we still have low unemployment. So I'm going to continue to expand this. And kind of getting tired of this grid, but we're going to go a little bit further with this one. And then we'll figure out what else to do. But for now, we'll keep this. Okay, so I bought another tile over here, and then we filled this grid out a little bit more, and we're going to get more housing coming in. But yeah, let's skip ahead again. Trying to fit all of this into 30 minutes is a challenge, but it's a fun challenge. So we have lost our residential demand, and that's because the unemployment rate went back up. And I was then checking the profitability again. And commercial is good, and industrial is actually creeping up, which is good to see. And that's why we have a lot of demand there for industry. I'm going to go ahead and get a little bit more industry zoned here. And we can fill some of that demand a little bit more. And actually we'll put this up against the waterfront too. Because the idea was that originally this was kind of part of the harbor. So we'll keep that, and then hopefully that will spur more demand over here for residential as the unemployment rate will drop, and it will be a better opportunity for people seeking jobs. I am so excited to partner with Apex Gaming PCs to bring you a custom line of gaming PCs named after some of my most popular series. I've worked with their team to put together an amazing setup for playing games like Cities Skylines. There's a link to see the full line in both the description below and the pinned comment. Oh, and be sure to use the discount code Czardus to receive up to $250 off your purchase. All right, we have now reached Grand Village. So this is the last milestone that we can reach in today's video. But here we get District Creation Tool. We get to look at the production panel, which I really like to see that. And we can do what is important to us right now is grain farming and forestry. We're not going to do transportation or parts very much because we don't really need them yet. I mean, people are going to start complaining about lack of entertainment and abundance of leisure time. But let's go ahead, and what I want to do is we're going to get some farming out here. We want grain farming, and I think we're going to unlock another tile to do it. We have plenty of tiles here that we can use. We're going to unlock that, and we're going to unlock a few out this way so that we can get a little bit more out over here. And we might do a little tempted to get a farm out this way too, but for now we're just going to focus over here. And first thing first, we're going to extend the ring road. And it's actually going to curve pretty tight here because there's a hill. It doesn't make sense to go all the way up the hill. It'll curve there and then make its way over that way. Okay, so now we're going to get our grain farm here, and I'll go ahead and draw the district for that. Alright, so we did a really basic one for that. That is now doing grain, and over here I adjusted that as well after I built the curve there. So that will get that going in there, and what I think I'm going to do, so we're going to have farms in here. They're going to be using the ring road to deliver over to the industry, and I think what I want then is we're going to revise this road here. And bring it straight through like that, just so that they can get a little bit closer to the industry. And I think that'll make sense. So that'll be that, and then we want to get forestry in here too. So we're going to continue the ring road along this way, and then I'll build a road into the forestry. And out here is going to be a really strong forestry area. You can see there's a ton of trees here. So we're actually going to get several different forestry things. Just going to build this pretty much as a square here, and then we'll get more roads and get more in here. We'll bring this out as far as it can. You can see that circle is the limit to what you can build. See where my road is here. So I'm going to get this built, and then we'll see. Alright, so our forestry area is done, and we just had on the radio, I don't think I have it turned on, but we had the radio complain that poor road condition. So we're going to check that by coming here and seeing this. Road condition red is bad. It's really just that bridge. It's really not too bad, but we're going to go ahead and address it anyway by going to development, and we have 10 development points available. We're just going to do advanced road services. Unlock that, and that's going to give us a few different things. One, we can build a road maintenance depot, and we'll go ahead and put that ideally somewhere around here where we already have some municipal stuff. We'll put that there. And then we can click traffic lights, and we're going to come in and remove a lot of the traffic lights. Okay, so that should get the traffic moving nice and smoothly, and really it hasn't been too bad. We've been in the probably about 70%. Not too bad at all. Flow as well, and but that will improve it a little bit because anything on this main road going through here will be able to flow very well. Now, checking a few things, checking unemployment. Unemployment is 6.8%, and let's check the production tab. So we can see we have a deficit. These are the raw materials. We have deficit in vegetables and a big one in coal and stone, which again, we don't have that available to us on this map for a while. We could build, I mean, we can unlock whatever tiles we want, but then we have to provide power and water to those spots, which can be a little bit tricky and strain the budget a little bit. It might be worth it, but we'll have to look into that another day because we are pretty much all set. You can see a lot of our demand is going up. We've got office demand too right now, so let's go ahead and get some offices in here. I think what we'll do is we'll put those kind of as a buffer here. Offices can be anywhere as well. They don't have to be in your core area. They can be out by the residential. But yeah, that is it for me. I might have a little bit of cinematic, but I don't think I will. I think this is where we're going to end it. And I'll have another couple of Cities Skylines 2 videos out before release. I don't know what day I'll be able to do those yet, but we will find out hopefully soon. And yeah, I hope you've liked this. Let me know in the comments below, and take care. I'll catch you next time.